Okay, let's unpack this. December 22nd, 2025. This wasn't just another day for AI. It really felt like a simultaneous shift across, what, three major areas. We saw the true emergence of the practical autonomous AI agent,
Right.
then the escalation of the global infrastructure arms race to power them, and finally, the inevitable regulatory response that's trying to define the rules of the road.
It all happened at once.
Yeah.
It really did. And for you, our mission in this deep dive is to cut through the noise, the press releases, and really distill the consequences.
Yes.
We need to understand not just that Anthropic set a new benchmark, but what an 80% competent AI programmer actually means for your team next year.
And what a massive infrastructure bet from a company like ByteDance really signals.
Exactly. And how these high-stakes policy decisions, like the ones coming out of New York, are redefining the risk perimeter for these powerful new systems.
And we'll flag all those dense acronyms as we go. We'll define things like retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, which is that crucial technique for giving a large language model, an LLM, the specific private knowledge it needs to do its job. But let's just jump straight in. Let's talk about the capabilities that are driving all this money and policy, the frontier research. And we have to start with Anthropic's Claude 4.5 opus. It just set a staggering new record on SWE-bench verified. I mean, that's the industry standard for evaluating an AI's ability to solve real-world software engineering problems.
And the number is the absolute headline here. Claude 4.5 achieved a leading score of 80.9% on SWE-bench verified.
Right.
This is so significant because it evaluates the AI on genuine GitHub issues, not just theoretical coding tasks. It's the first model globally to ever break that 80% threshold.
Okay, hold on. 80.9%. That's not just a passing grade. That's statistical proof that an AI can now handle the majority of messy, real-world coding problems. Bugs, minor feature additions. What does that single number truly mean for, say, entry-level software engineering roles?
Well, it means we are fundamentally changing the definition of what a human programmer does.
No.
The 80% mark, that often represents competence. So the AI is now competent.
Wow.
It handles the drudgery, the repeatable stuff, the lower complexity tasks. And you, the human, are now shifted entirely to architecture, novel problem solving, and defining the high-level requirements. If you're a developer listening, that 80.9%, that's the new floor for automation.
And speaking of capability, we also saw a major advance in efficiency for specialized applications, a new medical AI model.
Yes, the BioMedBert Hash Nano series was released from the Hugging Face community. This is the new nano language model, and it's specifically designed for apps that have very limited compute or need to run locally on edge devices.
Like a remote diagnostic tool out in the field.
Exactly, a clinical setting or a field setting.
So how tiny are we talking here compared to the trillion parameter monsters we usually hear about?
Tiny enough to actually democratize medical AI. This model has only 970,000 parameters.
Under a million.
And yet, on medical abstract classification tasks, it achieves comparable accuracy to traditional models that are over 100 times larger, so around 110 million parameters.
Okay, the efficiency is phenomenal, but is the quality really comparable? Are researchers going to trust results from a model that small, over 110 million parameter one? Or is this just for really basic diagnostics?
That is the critical balancing act.
Right.
And the research suggests that for specific narrow domains like abstract classification, you just don't need the massive general knowledge that's encoded in a huge model.
Ah, okay.
You only need enough parameters to encode the specialized medical knowledge, which is what this hash nano architecture manages. It points to a future of specialized, highly efficient agents running just about everywhere.
That tiny model shows specialized AI can run anywhere, democratizing access. But let's go to the other extreme of specialized compute. What about quantum systems? How are they moving from theory into, well, practical science, like the work happening in Germany?
So researchers from the German Aerospace Center, DLR, they demonstrated a hybrid quantum classical neural network that predicts cloud cover with consistent accuracy. And this is highly relevant to Earth system science, which, as you know, relies on these massive, complex simulations.
So what's the practical implication here? Why is this a big deal now?
It shows that near-term quantum processors can deliver practical benefits in complex climate model parameterization. They are matching or even exceeding the performance of purely classical models.
So the timeline for using quantum ML is actually getting shorter.
It is, especially in fields that really stress traditional hardware.
And finally, in research, we have the human element, literally. Out of the US, the Marine Biological Laboratory is using AI and VR to explore how our memory works at a molecular level.
Yes. This project uses Nvidia RTX GPUs and the SciGlass VR platform. The whole point is to map the brain's hippocampus to try and find the root causes of neurodegenerative diseases.
And what's the massive computational challenge that they're facing?
The data scale is just immense. Researchers are navigating 10 terabytes of volumetric data to find these tiny specific protein markers that are crucial for memory encoding.
Wow.
And using VR lets them visualize and navigate that data in a 3D space, which just drastically accelerates the discovery process. It would be impossible with traditional 2D imaging.
Okay, let's pivot to the products coming to market that leverage this new capability. And let's start with xAI's major move to solve that persistent headache of RAG implementation.
Right. xAI announced the Grok Collections API. It's essentially selling the solution to RAG. It's a state-of-the-art retrieval augmented generation system that's built directly into their API.
So developers can just upload massive private data sets, like an entire company code base or SEC filings.
Exactly, without having to build and maintain all the RAG infrastructure themselves.
They're getting rid of the undifferentiated heavy lifting. But technically, what makes their retrieval better for those dense, regulated documents?
The key is their hybrid search capability. Most RAG systems today, they rely purely on semantic search, just the meaning and context. Grok combines that with high-precision keyword search.
Right.
So when you're dealing with a dense legal contract, you need semantic understanding, but you also need to know exactly where the term indemnification clause appears. That hybrid approach is designed to minimize hallucinations.
That makes sense. Okay, from optimizing data retrieval to generating entire works of art. The next item is a huge cultural milestone out of China.
That would be the premiere of the Bond of Reunion. It's China's first full AI-generated content, or AIGC, animated feature film. The story is about two panda siblings, and the entire production pipeline use AI tools.
And the impressive metric here isn't really the final film, it's the speed of the production workflow, isn't it?
Absolutely. The nonlinear AIGC workflow compressed the typical animation cycle for a feature film from, 3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
All the way down to approximately 1 year. That dramatic compression signals a major paradigm shift for the animation and film industry globally.
1 year is just insane speed. But what does that compression mean for the actual creative workforce? Are we seeing a genuine paradigm shift, or is it more of a workflow optimization that just moves the bottleneck somewhere else?
It suggests that the high-volume, low-complexity animation tasks, those will be entirely automated.
Ah.
The creative workforce has to focus on high-level artistic direction, quality control, leveraging these tools to prototype and iterate way faster rather than spending years on rendering.
And wrapping up products, we've got Tencent Cloud making AI application deployment much more accessible.
Right. Tencent Cloud officially launched Edwin Pages. It's a serverless, edge-native platform designed for developers who want to build and deploy things like web apps and AI chatbots without worrying about the underlying servers.
And how are they drawing developers in? What's the hook?
By democratizing access. They're offering a permanently free tier. And technologically, it uses over 3,200 edge nodes globally, which ensures low-latency deployments for these AI apps, which is crucial for real-time agents.
The products are here, but they need a solid foundation. Let's talk about the bedrock, the chips, the energy, and the massive capital being poured into this, starting with a staggering bet from ByteDance.
The scale of their ambition it's truly enormous. ByteDance announced preliminary capital expenditure plans of 160 billion yuan. That's about $22.74 billion for 2026.
$23 billion.
It just shows the aggressive scale of China's push to secure AI supremacy.
And more than half of that is just for AI chips. We see the spending, but why the extreme demand? Why does a company like ByteDance need 50 trillion tokens a day?
That daily token usage, which you're right, has surged to 50 trillion tokens and is now getting close to Google's reported 43 trillion. It indicates that AI is baked into every single consumer touch point.
So everything.
Everything. Personalized content, recommendation engines, internal model training, AI-driven search, developer tools. That 50 trillion token number is the operational sign of just aggressive global productization at peak capacity.
And meanwhile, Alphabet, Google's parent company, is focusing not just on chips, but on the other critical constraint we always hear about, energy.
Exactly. Alphabet announced a US $4.75 billion cash acquisition of a renewable energy developer, Intersect Power. This move is all about securing clean power for its growing AI data center needs.
Right.
They're securing projects with 10.8 gigawatts of projected capacity by 2028. You just can't scale AI without securing massive clean energy sources first, Energy is the new bottleneck.
On the geopolitics front, we have Nvidia planning to ship a significant number of their most powerful chips to China, trying to navigate those export controls.
It's a high-stakes strategic gamble. Nvidia told clients it plans to ship between 40,000 and 80,000 H200 AI chips to Chinese clients by mid-February 2026, but it's all pending U.S. government review.
So is this a stable, long-term strategy? Or is this just a temporary holding action that risks the U.S. government just moving the goalposts again?
It feels like a holding action. By tailoring these chips to fall just under the mandated performance thresholds, Nvidia manages to maintain revenue and sustain the AI build-out in a key market.
But the risk is still there.
The inherent risk is that any success here could trigger new, stricter regulations that just negate all their efforts.
And finally, we're seeing hardware fighting back against the cloud giants by offering localized, cheaper alternatives.
Yes, Minisforum and AMD announced the MS-S1 Max AI mini workstation. This hardware is engineered specifically for local LLM inference, so it's a decentralized alternative to the cloud for users worried about cost or privacy.
And the cost savings look pretty compelling.
They really are. The manufacturers are claiming an 80% power consumption reduction compared to traditional servers and up to 77% cost savings. This decentralization trend is critical for niche applications where latency and regulatory rules prevent cloud use.
Okay, as capabilities scale, the stakes rise, and so does the regulation. We've seen the 80% competent agent arrive. We've seen the billions being spent to power it. And that kind of capability demands the next step, defining the rules. New York just created a really significant state-level safety framework with a RAISE Act.
That's right. Governor Kathy Hochul signed the Responsible AI Safety and Education, or RAISE Act, into law. This is a crucial state safety benchmark, and it specifically applies to frontier model developers with revenue over $500 million.
But the real insight here is where the oversight sits, isn't it? It's not in a traditional tech agency.
That's the key signal. Placing AI oversight within the New York Department of Financial Services suggests the state views these models not just as technology, but as a systemic risk.
Like financial stability or regulating insurance companies.
Exactly, and the concrete requirement is tough. Developers have to publish safety protocols and report critical safety incidents within a very tight 72 hours of discovery.
72 hours? That's a massive operational lift for any big tech company. It shows New York is serious about immediate risk mitigation, not slow investigation.
Precisely. It shifts the burden of proof and the burden of speed onto the developers. It's redefining the standard of care in the U.S.
And meanwhile, the U.S. federal government, through NIST, is launching new economic security centers focused on applying AI to national priorities.
Right. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, awarded $20 million to MITRE to establish 2 AI economic security centers. They're focused on boosting manufacturing productivity and securing critical infrastructure from cyber threats.
So the goal is to translate abstract AI research into deployable secure agents.
Yes, this directly supports the NIST strategy for American technology leadership by driving efficiency and cybersecurity in these national priority sectors.
And across the Atlantic, the European Union is focused on accelerating AI adoption, but specifically in the public sector.
The European Commission introduced targeted actions under its Apply AI strategy, including a public sector AI toolbox. The goal is to accelerate AI adoption in European public administrations and, critically, foster demand for European trustworthy open-source AI solutions to enhance digital sovereignty.
They want public services relying on AI built in the EU.
Right.
Finally, let's talk about the security of these agents themselves. OpenAI just issued a significant update about prompt injection attacks.
This is a reflection of the new security perimeter, agent security. OpenAI detailed how it hardens its ChatGPT Atlas browser agent by using an LLM-based automated attacker. It's basically an AI red team.
So AI fighting AI.
Exactly, trained with reinforcement learning, or RL, to continuously discover and patch these prompt injection flaws. It's a continuous rapid response loop.
And why is this so critical for a browser agent specifically?
Because web-based agents interact directly with unpredictable, often malicious external environments. OpenAI essentially admitted that prompt injection risk on these agents might never be fully solved.
So instead of eliminating the risk, they're just accelerating their defense timeline.
Precisely, using the power of the model itself.
And the ultimate sign of capability is high-stakes government adoption. xAI just secured a landmark contract with the U.S. Department of War.
Yes, xAI was selected to integrate Grok AI models into the Pentagon's internal platform, GenAI.mil. This deal provides 3 million military and civilian personnel access to xAI's frontier models.
And critically, it's classified at impact level 5, IL5 security. What does IL5 mean in practical terms?
IL5 is massive. It means this model isn't just cleared for low-level internal emails. It is cleared to handle mission-critical, sensitive, and potentially classified information.
Wow.
It immediately transforms Grok from a novelty model into critical national security infrastructure that meets the Department of War's most stringent requirements.
Shifting to global enterprise, which country is leading the charge on integrating generative AI into the workplace?
According to the EY 2025 Work Reimagined survey, the answer is India. India's workforce demonstrates the world's most rapid enterprise AI integration globally, with a staggering 77% of knowledge workers using generative AI daily.
77%. That's a huge metric for on-the-ground adoption. It dwarfs the rates we've seen reported in the US and Europe.
Absolutely. It positions India as the key global testbed for how these AI agents fundamentally reshape daily white-collar work.
And we also see regulated industries making strategic moves on specialized models, like the insurance giant Manulife.
Manulife partnered with Adaptive ML to integrate a reinforcement learning operations, or RLOps, platform. They're using it to fine-tune open-source small language models, or SLMs.
So moving away from massive generic models toward highly specialized agents.
That's the signal.
And what's the practical day-to-day benefit of RLOps for an insurance company?
It means they aren't just training the model once and hoping for the best. They're running continuous feedback loops to ensure their specialized AI agents, used for tasks like automated underwriting, remain perfectly accurate, reliable, and cost-efficient over time.
When you're writing multi-million-dollar policies, that continuous accuracy matters more than raw intelligence.
That's exactly it.
And zooming out to the overall job market, Gartner released its jobs chaos forecast.
Right. Gartner predicts AI will cause jobs chaos, not an apocalypse. They forecast that over 32 million roles will be significantly transformed by AI annually by 2029.
So the focus isn't on elimination, but on fundamental redesign.
Yes. The key takeaway for professionals is that the focus has to shift from mastering a specific technical skill to mastering agility, adaptability, and just curiosity.
What an eventful day. The major themes are so clearly connected. The 80% competent AI programmer arrived. The global infrastructure race escalated dramatically, highlighted by ByteDance's $23 billion commitment and Alphabet's $4.75 billion energy acquisition.
And the security perimeter shifted entirely to proactive, agent-level defense.
If we look at the numbers of the day, two metrics really define the moment for me. First, that 80.9% record from Claude 4.5 Opus on the SWE-bench verified benchmark. That number is the new statistical definition of autonomous AI capability.
I agree. And my second would be the 77% adoption rate. That's the percentage of knowledge workers in India reported to be using generative AI daily. It positions the country as the global leader in workplace integration.
Now, for a couple of tools and tutorials you can actually use today. If you are diving into deep learning training, we highly recommend reviewing the detailed tutorial on learning rate schedules, specifically using cosine annealing and warm-up schedules.
Those are crucial techniques for optimizing transformer models and preventing your model loss from just exploding or getting stuck early on.
And for developers interested in advanced image editing, Alibaba Cloud released the open-source weights for their Qwen image layered model.
And this lets you experiment with the model's ability to automatically decompose images into semantically independent RGBA layers for structured editing. It's a fundamental shift from simple raster generation to controllable layered output.
And finally, we leave you with this provocative thought. The sheer volume of regulation and infrastructure spending today shows that AI is no longer just a technology. It is critical national and corporate infrastructure.
So when state-level laws, like New York's RAISE Act, start treating AI safety with the same institutional rigor as financial stability, mandating 72-hour reporting for incidents, what does that imply about the potential for systemic societal risk and opportunity we are all facing as we move into 2026?
Something profound to chew on. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.